Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I'm your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Friday, May 24th, 2024, and we are getting ready to go into the Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody is excited for that. I hope everyone has a lot of exciting plans with their family and friends. And I am joined by the one and only Mr. Doug. He is our MLB DFS guru, along with myself. So, Doug, how are you doing on this Friday before Memorial Day weekend?
Oh, I'm doing great, Crash. Excited for this slate, excited for Memorial Day weekend, spending time with friends and family. What are you doing?
For sure. Yeah, I think we're going to be laying low. I think I'd probably just be hanging out at the house, watching some baseball, maybe watch a couple movies with my wife, and just kind of lay low. So it should be a good, relaxing weekend, that's for sure. On Memorial Day, I'll be watching the Brewers and the Cubs game with my dad, so that'll be fun. But yeah. So so we've got a nice I think it's 11 games on the main slate. We've got a few more on Yahoo. They start at 6:40 instead of the 7:10 Eastern like Draftkings and Fanduel. But if you're new to the channel, if you would give us a like and hit the subscribe button. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, we would love to have you join us. You can join us for just $4.99 for a week, or we have our MLB special for a little over $8 a month for the next several months. You're going to get the entire Major League Baseball season, the rest of the NBA playoffs and the NBA Finals, of course, the first 2 months of the NFL season, and then Doug actually covers PGA, so you'll get our PGA coverage and lineups too. Let's go ahead and get right into it, starting with before I do that, I do want to mention our Discord that we have is a very family-friendly, very positive and encouraging environment. So if you've never been in our Discord community before, it'll probably be one of the most positive and encouraging experiences that you've ever had in the DFS community, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and start with the
Sure. Before we start, Crash, I wanted to mention one thing. I'm sorry. What do you think about that extra inning game last night with Oakland and Colorado?
Yeah, that was something else. That actually helped me cash on one of my lineups because I had JJ Bleday. He was actually one of my home run calls too. But yeah, I had JJ Bleday, so that was surprising because I didn't think I was going to cash for sure. And then I went back to my lineup and like 2 hours later, I think, and they were still playing. So
I know I'm sitting there. I got one inning left of one of my lineups. All the rest of my lineups are all done. Oh, I'm making cash in every single lineup. It wasn't even. I was like 15 points ahead. I was all excited about the money I'm gonna make, and then JJ Bleday.
Yeah.
I had one lineup, and that's.
Did you not have him in your lineup?
Just one lineup. Because the only reason I played him is because of you. Actually, I looked at him. I thought he was a good play, but I didn't actually play him.
Yeah. It's just one of those deals, man. It's just you never know till the slate's over. You can't do anything. So I've been on both sides of that. I remember one game, and then we'll get into the main part of the podcast. But I remember one game a couple of years ago I was watching, and I think it was on PrizePicks, and then on FanDuel, of course, I had the Dodgers, and they hit like 3 home runs in the bottom of the 9th inning. And I ended up winning a whole bunch of money from PrizePicks. I won a whole bunch of money from FanDuel. It was crazy. Yeah. Like I needed a lot, and I got all of it. So it was something else. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and start the 6:40 p.m. Eastern games. Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Detroit Tigers in Detroit. Alek Manoah against Matt Manning. The Blue Jays are minus 135 on the money line, 8.5 implied run total, 81 degrees, wind blowing in at 8 miles an hour. 6:40 p.m. Eastern as well. The Atlanta Braves taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ray Kerr starting for the Braves. Bailey Falter, who's been pitching much better than we've ever seen him pitch. Atlanta is a minus 180 favorite on the money line. Nine implied run total. 82 degrees with the wind blowing out at 3 miles an hour. So you have a very low wind, but it is blowing out. So you'll get a little bit of a boost there. Maybe be a difference in one of those balls being caught at the warning track and actually getting out, because they don't happen very often in Pittsburgh, that's for sure. 6:45 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners taking on the Washington Nationals. George Kirby against Mackenzie Gore. The Mariners are minus 155 on the money line, 8 implied run total, 79 degrees, 2 mile an hour winds, a 30% chance of rain there. 6:50 p.m. Eastern, the Kansas City Royals taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Seth Lugo against Tyler Alexander. The Royals are minus 115 favorite on the road, 8 implied run total. They're indoors, so there's no weather. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Here we go. You ready for this one, Doug? Milwaukee against Boston. How do you think this one's going to play out? These are our two favorite teams, so I feel like we should touch on this a little bit. Doug, are you there? I think you're on mute, buddy.
Yeah.
All good, man.
I had to mute it because the landlords were testing out the old mighty smoke detectors there. I didn't want everybody in the happy listening to that. That would have been horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I honestly, it might be a very they're two evenly matched teams, so I think it's going to be a very competitive series. I think Boston has a slight edge in pitching, and Milwaukee has the edge in hitting. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of it's going to be the umpires and the weather.
Yeah,
the home umpire.
Could be an interesting series. I know the first game is on Apple TV, so you have to watch it on Apple TV tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they're on Apple TV tonight. And then Bryce Wilson is taking on Cutter Crawford. Boston is a minus 135 favorite, 9.5 implied run total, wind blowing left to right, 78 degrees, 10 mile an hour winds blowing left to right. So I guess that means that short porch, that's where the ball should land. That's what it sounds like, at least. So stay away from the green monster tonight. And then we have at 7:10 p.m. Eastern, the Texas Rangers taking on the Minnesota Twins. Jose Urena against Bailey Ober. Minnesota is a minus 162 favorite at home. 9 implied run total. Pretty good wind, 15 miles an hour blowing out. 65 degrees, so it's not too crazy warm, but the wind's blowing out pretty good. So the ball should carry pretty well for that game in what's normally more of a pitcher's park. Then you have the Dodgers taking on the Bengals. Yeah, I'm ready for football. The Reds, James Paxton against Graham Ashcraft. Dodgers are minus 155 favorite on the road. 10.5 implied run total, 82 degrees. Wind blows right to left at 6 miles an hour. The San Francisco Giants are taking on the New York Mets. Kyle Harrison against Christian Scott. The Mets are minus 142 favorite at home, which is a little bit surprising to me. The Giants have been playing really well lately, so I kind of like the Giants in this matchup. It's a 7.5 implied run total, wind blowing 7 miles an hour and blowing out 79 degrees. So the next game, I don't think this game's going to play. It looks like it very well could postpone. The Baltimore Orioles taking on the Chicago White Sox in Chicago. Corbin Burns against Chris Flexen. Baltimore is favored minus 270. Low implied run total at 7.5. 75 degrees. Wind blows right to left at 16 miles an hour, but 65% chance of rain. Like I said, I do think this game's going to end up being postponed, probably an early postpone, but we'll keep our eye and see what happens. Doug, you're the weather guy. You have any updates on that? What do you think?
Well, now I'm about an hour and a half away from Chicago, so we just got done through a thunderstorm here about an hour and a half ago. So
okay,
put me behind on my research because I got a weather spot. And
yeah,
so well, a friend in a weather spot was to make sure nothing unique will happen where it might be threat to the local community here living. But anyway, so long story short, Chicago weather. I'd say 85% chance will cancel it. There
Okay.
is a chance where they'll start the game. They'll get 5 innings in. The strong arm will go through, give a delay of maybe an hour, and play the game. That it's doubtful.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning. I think it's more likely that it's going to postpone, but there is always that small window.
I've X'd out this game and the next one you're going to talk about.
You X'd them out?
Yeah, I X'd about already.
So you don't think the Cubs are going to play? The
What?
Cubs and the Cardinals, you don't think that game's going to play either?
I think there's a higher. What I saw on the main Ross does a great job. He's the best. I think the rain probably hit in St. Louis around 8:00 their time, and once the rain hits there, it's gonna stay raining there because it's gonna be a big rain there. Rain event. But if it's later, then they're fine. But I think it's gonna get there before halfway through the game, the latest.
Okay.
But it's early. The models will change, But I'm
yeah. Well, that's definitely something that we're gonna have to keep our eye on, because I'm sure a lot of people are gonna look at Shota in this matchup. Shota Imanaga against Miles Michaelis. Cubs are -155 favorite on the road. 8 implied run total, 82 degrees, wind blowing out at 9 miles an hour. So if it wasn't for the rain, this would be a really good hitting environment. But with the rain, that's going to affect it obviously quite a bit. Then we have the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Colorado Rockies at 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Christopher Sanchez against Ty Black. The Phillies are -205 favorite on the road. Implied run total of 11. Highest on the slate, as you might expect. 69 degrees, wind blows out at 11 miles an hour. So pretty nice weather, good hitting environment here for the Phillies and Rockies. Next game is at 9:38 p.m. Eastern. The Cleveland Guardians taking on the Los Angeles Angels. Logan Allen against Patrick Sandoval. Low implied run total of 7.5. 65 degrees, wind blowing out at 8 miles an hour. Then we have the Houston Astros taking on the Oakland A's. Justin Verlander against Ross Stripling. Houston's a -175 favorite on the road. 8.5 implied run total. 59 degrees, wind blowing out at 14 miles an hour. Last 2 games of the night, New York Yankees against the San Diego Padres. Carlos Rodon against Yu Darvish. The Yankees are a -115 favorite in San Diego. 7.5 implied run total, wind blowing out at 9 miles an hour, 61 degrees. And then we have the Miami Marlins taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Braxton Garrett against Zach Gallen. Garrett's really been struggling. He has a 10.24 ERA, by far the highest on the slate. Arizona is the #1 team against lefties, so we're going to get into that a little bit too. Obviously, this is a good matchup for them. They're a -185 favorite at home, 7.5 implied run total, which I think it's going to end up being higher than that, but we'll see what happens. They're indoors, so there is no weather. So let's go ahead and get right into our top plays. Doug, I currently have Shota Imanaga as my top pitcher. He's 11,000 on DraftKings and Fanduel, $52 on Yahoo. I'm a little concerned about the weather, like you were talking about. But right now, I do have him. If that game's able to go, I do have him as my top pay-up pitcher. He's a 30-year-old rookie, which I didn't even know that, but he's 30 years old as a rookie. But he's been awesome all year. He hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in any of his starts. His last 2 starts, he had shutouts against the Braves and the Pirates. Going up against the Cardinals, who have the second worst average against lefties at only 205, and they're about middle of the pack in strikeout rate too. So I'm assuming that with the weather, Shota's not your top pay-up pitcher. So who are you looking at as your pay-up pitcher?
Well, if for some unforeseen reason happens where weather is not a factor, he is by far my favorite pitcher in this slate.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, he is incredible. He pitches. His baseball IQ when pitching, I think, is highly underestimated, and it's underestimated in baseball in general. He does a lot of pitch to hit. He can strike out when he needs to. He can be crafty, a little bit overpowering. I liked him in Japan when I watched a few games over in Japan.
Yeah.
One of my very good friends watches a lot of Japanese games, and he was like, "Oh, the Red Sox should sign him. The Brewers should sign him." He's a big Brewers fan like you,
Okay. Yeah.
and so he was very disappointed when either team signed him.
Yeah.
But so my pivot is Gallon.
Okay.
And a lot of reasons for Gallon. He's been pitching better this year. But he's got a knuckle curve now. It's run about 46% of the time now.
Yeah.
And that's just been a big out pitch this year. Strikeout pitch for him. And that's really elevated his game. And he's going up against a team that Miami that's weak. Only one that has any good numbers at all is Sanchez. And they're not like he's hitting home runs off of him or anything. Yeah. So I think that Gallon is my number one pitcher, and he would have been if I thought that weather wasn't going to affect Imanaga, because I think Imanaga was going to get all the ownership.
Yeah,
at the top.
Yeah, I'm expecting that too. I just wasn't sure where to go for a pay up besides Imanaga, so I just went with him for now. But on the value side, I really didn't find that many great value pitchers. I did consider Christopher Sanchez. He had a really nice start against the Rockies last time he faced them, but he's been much better at home than he has on the road. His road home splits are pretty alarming, actually, so I'm probably not going to go there either. So I'm kind of not sure where I want to go with value. Did you come up with any value plays that you liked?
Sorry, just pulling up some extra information to answer your question.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, if we're looking at DraftKings, okay, you got Cutter Crawford is at 89. That could be a value.
Yeah.
Verlander, hit or miss. I mean, he's either going to pitch good or horrible.
Yeah.
If he pitches good, you got that at 8,600. Harrison, I liked against the Mets, but now the wind's blowing out.
Yeah.
And it's in the 70s, so I'm a little worried about that. Ober has not done well against Texas. And then Paxton, I can't believe Paxton. I keep playing against him though, and he keeps doing well. I don't understand that, but and so that goes me down to Darvish. He's going up against some Yankees who are bashing the ball. Don't want to do that right now. Which leads me to Scott. Wind blowing out. It is against San Fran. I'm going to play a lot of Scott.
Okay.
And Sandoval has been pitching well.
Yeah.
Quality starts. I'll probably definitely play him on FanDuel because of the quality starts. And Scott's been pitching well.
Yeah, I have a hard time using the pitchers against the Guardians just because they have such a low strikeout rate. But I could definitely see that. I haven't looked at Sandoval myself. You mentioned Yu Darvish. I'll go there now. He is my fade pitcher tonight. His last 3 starts have been excellent, but he is, like you said, facing the red hot Yankees. The last time he faced them, which was almost a year to the day, May 28th of 2023, they scored 7 runs in 2 2/3 innings, and they've added Juan Soto since then, obviously. So that's a tough matchup. So I think Yu Darvish is going to be my fade pitcher for today.
I have no problem fading Yu Darvish, and then Bailey Ober would be my other fade for me, just because of his numbers against Texas have been rough.
Yeah,
I do like him, and I think he's been pitching really decent, but not against Texas. So.
No, definitely not. And that leads me into my BVP play of the day. Marcus Semien, 5,400 on DraftKings, 3,600 on FanDuel, $17 on Yahoo. He's hit 571 against Bailey Ober, 4 hits and 7 at bats, a single, a double, and 2 home runs. So you can sign me up for Marcus Semien today against Bailey Ober. Were you able to find a BVP? There wasn't a whole lot of great BVP on this slate. So were you able to find one that you liked?
Well, the one you mentioned obviously was first. Grossman was the other one that I saw on there. I don't get the numbers in front of me right this second, but Grossman has similar numbers, just quite not as much power. But he's got the doubles. He has hit a couple of homers. He's hitting well. He's hitting well over 500. It's over. And it's not like a 10 or 12 at bats. It's like 27 at bats. So.
Yeah, I looked at him. Is he supposed to be in their lineup today?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't see him on their projected lineup. That doesn't mean he won't be. A lot of times they make changes and they don't have it right every time on their projected lineup. But so Robbie Grossman, let me look at him real quick. So he's 5 of 8. Is that what you see, or does he have more at bats?
Yeah, I see that, and I see Grossman. Yep.
Okay,
sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, so there's not that much in the VVP area. That's overexciting. You got Simeon, like you said.
Yeah, and I like that. You got the value and the pay up stack there, 2-man stack with the Rangers. So I do like that.
Yeah, you could chill with Jonah Hyman there. You got 3, you got Nathan Lowe, then you got your 4.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so then we'll go into, let's take a look at the chat real quick, see if we, my value pitcher, I really didn't have one, Derek. Yeah, I just really didn't feel comfortable with any of them. On the early, which is on Yahoo, you have the 540 games. Let me see who I went with on that. Alek Manoah actually against Detroit. But that's on the early. That's on the early slate only, so you don't have that on the main slate, so you can't even use them on there. But if you are playing that all-day slate on Yahoo, then you can use Manoah for value. My home run call today, obviously, like always, I have several, but we're only going to give out one each. So I'm going to go with Lourdes Gurriel against Braxton Garrett. Like I said, he's been awful this year, and the Diamondbacks are number 1 against left-handed pitchers. They're batting like 290, I think. So they have really good numbers against left-handed pitchers. He himself is 1 for 3 with a double, but I do like Gurriel to get a home run tonight against Braxton.
Mine would be, he's very chalky. Betts.
Schwarber? Betts?
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I've got another one, Realmuto.
Realmuto,
and Colorado is kind of cheating, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think Betts would be another one. I do like your pick. And then really low owned, and I'll leave the rest for 2 more besides this one. I'll leave for members, and that's Grichuk. Yep. I like him too. Go yard cheap.
Yeah.
A couple of cheapies like that. I'll leave for members.
2,300 on Fanduel. So yeah, I like him a lot.
Can go yard.
That'll go right into our stacks. The Diamondbacks are one of my top stacks. The Phillies obviously are going to be the chalk stack. GPP, I do like the Giants. They have been pretty red hot. They're 7th best batting average against right-handed pitchers. They looked really good once Paul Skeens went out. I mean, Skeens is just ridiculous. Like, I don't know anyone that's going to hit against that guy. But once he went out, I mean, they gave up 5 runs just immediately. So I do like the Giants with Matt Chapman, especially. He's been red hot. So I like the Giants. And that's about it for the stacks that I'm going to give out on the podcast anyway. I might have a couple more for our members. Who do you look at today besides the chalky Phillies?
Well, I have 8 stacks. So that's one
reason. Okay, so let's cut it to like 4.
Yeah, I'm not going to do all 8. Anyways, you know that. Yeah. But the thing is, that's one of the reasons that setting up for Gallon is kind of difficult for me, because there are so many good stacks, and most of them are quite expensive. But I don't know how off the board this is going to be. I can't play the Orioles anymore, so I'll cross them off. I don't think they were going to play today, but we can do a nice lower owned one.
Okay,
we'll do 2. Do Dodgers and Twins.
Okay. Twins will be lower owned for sure. Dodgers will probably be pretty chalky.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they are expensive. And if you're right, because if people do play Shota. It's going to be hard to play the Dodgers. That's for sure. All right, let's look at the chat one more time. Okay. That will take us to our PrizePicks plays of the day. If you're new to PrizePicks, you can join PrizePicks, go to their app, and go to enter promo code Coach Talk, all one word. They will 100% match your first deposit up to $100. For my PrizePicks plays, I'm going to go with Christian Walker, more than 0.5 hits. And I do currently have Shota Imanaga at more than 5.5 strikeouts. Will he get that in before the weather? I don't know, but hopefully the weather will hold up and hopefully he can get that 6 strikeout in. So did you have any PrizePicks plays today, Doug?
I don't know what the odds are in Bet's doing a home run or Chris H. I'd like to know both of those if you could look those up.
Now the home runs, they do have home run props. They're usually what they call a demon play, which has a higher payout. Let me see if they have Mookie Betts on home runs. Yep, 0.5 home runs, which is going to give you a let's see.
That's pretty high, huh?
3.5x boost on him. So normally if you did like a 2-player play, you would have a 3x payout. Well, with Mookie Betts hitting a home run, it would be 6.5. So he's giving you a 3.5x boost. And then who is the other one you said?
Gressage. What's his odds?
He's probably not going to be listed for home runs. He is listed. If you go for, you got a couple options on the demon plays. You've got 2.5 total bases. You've got 0.5 doubles. You got 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So obviously the 2.5 bases and the 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is going to hit if he gets a home run. So that is going to have.
Is that hits or total bases?
That is total bases. Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. Yes.
2.5 total bases has a 1.5 multiplier, 1.5x multiplier.
Okay.
2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is a 0.75. So you get the best value with the 2.5 total bases for Grichuk.
Oh, it's kind of fun. I do like Walker tonight, like you do.
Yeah, Walker. The play I gave out was more than 0.5 hits, which that's what they call a goblin play, has a lower payout. You've got a couple options with him for RBIs, total bases 1.5. That's probably not that high of a boost. 0.5. Yeah, I didn't think it'd be that high. They don't have a home run prop for him, but they do for Mookie Betts. And like I said, it's a 3.5x boost. So that's a pretty good payout boost for Betts hitting a home run if he does hit one. So
cool.
Any last words before we let everybody go and kick off Memorial Day weekend? Sir, Doug, are you there?
I don't have any more.
Okay, no problem. I hope everybody has enjoyed this podcast. Hopefully we can make you guys some good money. Actually, Doug, we do have one more thing we need to do, and that is our FanDuel GPP lineup. So we need to do that.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Okay.
All right. So
I did. So you go ahead.
Yeah, I think quick. Last time
you go first.
I picked the pitcher last time, right? Or did you? I can't remember.
I know you went first. I went first. That's all I know.
You went first last time?
Yeah.
Okay. So usually that means we're picking the pitcher first. We'll do a little bit different today. I'll just go ahead and take a hitter. I'll go ahead and take the guy we were just talking about with Randall Grichuk at 2,300. Going to save us a ton of salary in the outfield. So it's your turn.
Well, let's have fun and put Edward Julian at second base at 2,700.
Okay. I got to get a brewer in here. I'm going to take Jake Bauers at first base. I lose you, Doug?
Oh, I'm here and just.
Oh, okay.
Look, putting in Bauer here.
Yeah, while you're looking, Derek asked who we think should be the comeback player of the year. To me, it's a little early to say something like that. You know, it's only May. We got a long ways to go before I would look at it as a season award.
The Red Sox pitching staff.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a little fun here. Let's go with Alex Bohm at third base.
Alex Bohm, okay. And I will take, let's see, shortstop, Blaze Alexander.
Sneaky.
I'm getting a lot of value.
How far down is he now?
2,500.
Yeah, he hits lefties really well.
Yeah, he does.
A lot. Corbin Carroll.
Lefty. Okay.
Yep. They don't matter with him.
Wow, how much is he now? 2,900?
Yeah.
He's fallen quite a ways.
Enough for him.
So I'm trying to see, do I want to go with Gurriel or Walker? I'm going to go with Gurriel. I'm going to put him in the utility. Or the outfield, I mean. I'm going to leave the utility open for you. You can probably get your guy in there, Mookie.
Sure. What's Gurriel's price?
2,800.
Okay.
It's a pretty low price stack, honestly. I think Walker's the most expensive Ketel Marte, 3,800. But he hasn't hit Garrett that well. Not saying he can't, obviously, but.
I'm just thinking. We haven't picked out pitcher yet.
True. Yeah, we haven't picked out our pitcher.
So let's go utility next. And I am going to go Marcus Semien.
Okay, yeah. There's 11,200, so we can go with Shota if we want.
Go with him, and then if not, then
yeah. If we don't go with, I'll tell you right now what I'm going to do. If we don't go with Shota, we can go with Zach Gallen, and then we can go with Christian Walker. Or sure. Wait, no, because that's too many Diamondbacks. Hang on a second.
Right. I was thinking like a Dodger payout.
Yeah, let's see what this looks like. Hang on a second. Real Muto. We'll take Real Muto. I'll put Real Muto at catcher first base if Shota doesn't play with Gallen.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So right now, our current lineup is going to be Shota Imanaga, Jake Bauers, Edward Julian, Alec Bohm, Blaze Alexander, Randall Grichuk, Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel, and Marcus Semien. So that's our current lineup right now. But we will let everyone know.
No. Okay.
We will let everyone. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go on. I'd like to thank everybody for the time today.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope everybody has enjoyed our podcast. We will let you know if we make any changes to that lineup. Hope everybody has an awesome Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe, have a blast, and we'll catch you guys again next Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern as we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and PrizePicks. Thank you.